Hello everyone, this is a guide to doing fight kiln to make money from Onyx gems. It's a guide based on speed and not on survival, so if you're just doing the fight kiln the first time and you just want to get your cape, this probably isn't the guide for you, although there will be some helpful tips for sure. And you can definitely use the wave by wave annotations and links in the description to see specific waves if you're having trouble with those. The first thing I'd like to talk about is gear, and people make way too big of a deal out of gear. When I do kiln on live stream in next gears, people always ask me if I could make a guide just for normal gears, and honestly the strategies are exactly the same for normal gear. I've got a picture on the screen here of gear that costs maybe 30 mil tops, and I do it in almost exactly the same time as that compared to next gear. The only advantage to using next gear is that you have less chance of getting KO'd if you miss a prayer switch. And honestly, if you're doing it for money, next gear probably isn't even worth the degrade cost, so it's up to you if you want to use it, if you have it. I have a whole lot of tips for gear in the description, but in general it doesn't really matter a whole lot. What matters more is knowing what prayers to use, where to stand, and just having a bit of experience in kiln. You can definitely do kiln in very low requirements. In this guide I'm just going to be talking about having high requirements, things like Storm of Armadyl I highly recommend. You should have a Steel Titan for this guide, although you might be able to get by with an Iron Titan, it would just be a bit slower. I also do this guide on normal prayers rather than curses, but curses are fine. Curses are just a bit slower because you don't have Augury and Rigour. But yeah, honestly the requirements aren't as important as where to stand and what prayers to use, so now I'm going to get into the wave by wave guide. Here we go, starting off. So the first thing you want to make sure to do is click through the cutscene. If you just click in the map and you cancel it, the waves won't start, so you have to watch out for that. For the first wave, use range protect and stand in the southeast. If you stand right next to where the melee spawns, you can use the Titan on it right when it spawns, rather than having to wait for it to walk over to you, so that's a good tip to know once you know where it spawns. And waves 1 to 3 are all pretty much the same, not exactly the same monsters, but the same strategy. Always start in the southeast corner, use the Titan to kill the meleeers, and then just melee the rangers. If you try and melee the meleeers, you'll do half damage on them, so it doesn't work out very well. So just hit the meleeer once, set the Titan on it, set a Dreadnip if you're quick, and then go and kill the rangers. When you find the restoration crystal, that's when you know to go to the northeast corner and a mage will spawn, so put on your range gear, use mage protect, and kill the mage. Then run south, definitely put on range protect. You want to be protecting against whatever the most powerful thing is, or whatever there's the most of. So in this case, you want to be protecting from range and wearing magic defense gear. And I'm using the Titan to kill the mage while I melee the rangers. You could just stay in range gear and finish off the mage. It doesn't make much difference either way. So now on wave 5 you want to stand north and you trap the dill. If you didn't have a Steel Titan, you could you would have to stay there until the Dreadnip killed the dill, but with a Steel Titan you just have to kill it, and you can run south and get it safe spotted on the thing in the middle pretty easily with all the monsters there, but I just killed it with the Titan pretty quick. You also want to be careful to pick up the magic crystals. If you forget those, then you're in a bit of trouble later on. The magic crystals are very important. For wave 6, it's the same as wave 4. You start out in the northeast, kill the mage, go south and kill the other mage, keep range protect on after the rangers get close to you. And I get a little bit low health here. You probably shouldn't risk that much before using restoration crystal. I'd like to say I knew what I was doing, but that was a little bit iffy. That was pretty close. Anyway, so kill the rangers with the Steel Titan. You want to keep the Titan going, just keep it killing them. The Titan does a ton of damage, and especially with the summoning potions, it helps a lot. So for this next wave, you put on range protect and keep on Dragonhide like in the previous waves, and then you put on, there's only the one mage, so you put on melee gear after it's dead. Finish it up with the Titan as usual. Make sure to pick up the range crystal, it's another useful one. Okay, yeah, so you definitely want mage protect on when this round starts. If you can kill this guy quick enough, then the rangers won't get to you in time. Otherwise you could go to the other side of the rock, the L-shaped rock that's in the southeast there, that's a really nice safe spot, and it would trap the mage. Wave 9 is all rangers, so it's a very easy wave. Not much to say about it, just kill all the rangers. That invulnerability crystal that I picked up and I used there by mistake, it's nice to use it on this jad. You should mage this jad for sure. And if you have an invulnerability crystal, it just makes it a little bit easier. It doesn't matter a whole lot. If you've got some practice with jad, you shouldn't be getting hit much anyway. Or you shouldn't be getting hit by its major hits at all. I mean, you get hit by the little bits that it hits through prayer automatically, but after you kill this jad, you want to click through the cutscene as fast as possible. Unlike the first cutscene, all of the rest of these cutscenes you can skip through, except the last one where you get your reward, of course. You don't really want to skip through that. Wave 11 is just mages, so you just range them, nothing special. Okay, now wave 12 is interesting. You have to stand in the southwest, but you don't want to stand directly in the southwest corner, otherwise the northern ranger gets trapped. So you start out with range protect, and then you kill one ranger and go north and kill the other one. Normally I killed them faster than I did here, so that wasn't ideal. But then you just kill the mages. And you've still got your range crystal in your inventory, and you should have just picked up a constitution crystal. So now on this next wave, you use the range crystal. It's just mages in this wave, so the range crystal will destroy them. I'm not sure what the max is with broad bolts, or with rune bolts rather, but it's quite good. You hit really well. Pick up the invulnerability crystal, it's just nice to have. Wave 14 is more mages. And then, yeah, just more mages. Make sure you stand east and a bit north as well, so that the mage that was trapped to the west can get over to you. Otherwise you have to run all the way over to it and waste a little bit of time. Not a big deal if you don't walk over to it, but it helps every little bit, right? Okay, so for this next wave, it's the first one that has another ranger in it, so it's all mages and a ranger. And what you need to remember is that you're using a range crystal at the moment, so you don't have high melee and you have very low defense as well. So yeah, I risked a little bit there. So yeah, trap it on the L rock here, then just go back to killing the other one. There's another mage to the west like before, so you want to stay north far enough that it can walk over to you. Pick up the restoration crystal. These ones are pretty nice. So wave 16 is the same as the last wave, except it has an extra mage, or the little mages rather, not the big mages, luckily, I guess. So same thing, just kill the ranger and then finish off the mages, stand far enough north that the ranger to the west can get over to you. It's actually these waves, like 16, 17, 18, which hurt the most, surprisingly enough, unless you like mess up on jad or something. So don't be afraid to be using your brews here, because this is where you really need them. Okay, so now this next wave has the same monsters, except it also has a meleer in it. So trapping the meleer is a little bit tricky. You can use the L safe spot. Yeah, you can use the L safe spot. You should also remember to use your constitution crystal as soon as the range crystal runs out and you use an overload. So normally I'll try and use an overload, then use the restoration crystal to heal up, and then use a constitution crystal to boost my life points. The nice thing about constitution crystals and why they're so useful is that when they wear off, they heal you up to your full health, which is especially nice with next gear. That's a lot of extra health. Make sure you pick up the mage crystal here. You don't want to miss those. So for wave 18, you go all the way to the northwest and you kill the ranger here first. You want to switch on mage protect soon because there's a mage that comes up from the south, and then you can run directly east. And as you can see, that there was the meleer trap there. I didn't kill it because I don't like switching gear much. If I switch gear, I often just waste time because I'm not all that fast at switching. So I just trap the meleer wherever I can. I don't know, it's really easy. It's a really big monster and you can trap it pretty much anywhere. So then just kill the mages after that. So for wave 19, I like standing in this sort of central eastern area here, and as you can see, the mage there up to the north walks south, and then the dill walks and gets trapped right behind it. So that's a really easy way to trap it and kill it with a titan. If you don't have a titan, you're just using Dreadnips, like you're just doing normal kill, and then you can just trap it the way that you did in wave 5, and just kill it that way. It's pretty easy. So yeah, then you just kill all the mages, nothing to it, just takes a little while. Now wave 20 is very similar to wave 10, except it's a mage that appears in the southeast. So kill the mage first, Titan, Dreadnips, the whole lot. I like switching to Ganodermic, or well, Virtus usually, but mage gear as I'm killing it, and that way when I run over I don't have to switch when I'm all the way over. So do one hit and then turn on your magic crystal or click your magic crystal to use it, and that's, I don't know, that's what makes it fun. I love the magic crystals. They make Storm of Armadyl and Polypore hit incredibly well, especially Storm of Armadyl. So skip through the cutscene here, and then on wave 21 to 23 it's all the same. Just kill the meleers, just mage them with melee protect on. I definitely recommend using Augury to boost your magic accuracy so you don't splash. Use Titan Dreadnips. You could also take off your tokkul-zo ring here because you always 2-hit them, so there's no point in wasting charges. Not a big deal, it saves a few charges, but yeah, not a big deal. I usually try and set the Titan on the high level meleers and then just kill the low level ones and the healers myself. Pick up the Constitution Crystal, and then wave 24 is slightly different. You stand to the east of the rock so that the ranger can't hit you, and then I don't know why I put on range protect there, but you're supposed to use melee protect. And then yeah, just kill all the meleers and then go over and kill the ranger. You should also make sure to use the Constitution Crystal here so it wears off before too long. Wave 25 is a little bit tricky. You have to kill the ranger first and then run south, and if you go far enough south you can trap the meleers in a line. If you don't go far enough south you'll have to go south again to trap them like this. I'm also going to show an alternative strategy. Okay, so first of all, if you're here you can just mage them, or you can just go and range the mage and then use the Titan to kill the meleers. The alternative strategy here is to just go further south, and then when you trap the meleers, you can just trap them on the 400 mage itself. They're, I don't know, like I said before, they're really big monsters, so you can trap them pretty much anywhere. It's not all that difficult. I sort of like this strategy better because I don't like switching to mage gear very much, and then switching to range gear immediately after. I find that I'm not that quick at switches, so it slows me down a little bit. Wave 26 is the same sort of trapping strategy for the meleers. Start out in the northwest, range protect, kill the ranger. Run south, trap the meleers on the rock. What I did there is I trapped them partially on the rock, but also partially on the mages. It depends how you do it, how quick you are. If you kill the ranger fast enough, you can get down there and just trap them on the rock without having to worry about running through the mages. Depends on how quick you are with it though. This method works fine in my opinion. There's also another method where you can start out in the eastern corner, or the eastern side rather, but I don't use it. I don't know, I find it a little bit slower, but either way. So for 27 you kill the ranger first, and then you stay in the northwest corner and mage all of the meleers. The only mage in this level is trapped to the east, so it won't hurt you as long as you stay in the corner here. So finish up maging all of the meleers, use the Titan to help of course, and as soon as they're all dead turn on mage protect and run to the east and range it to death. Now once the restoration crystal appears you know that it's the dill wave coming up next. The first one you have to trap on this rock here. You need to make sure that it's sticking out far enough so that you can get the western one trapped as well. Make sure you kill the western one first, otherwise it'll just walk right towards you once this other one dies. So with the Titan and summoning potions, it's very easy, especially if you use a Dreadnip as well. Now, this is something that I like doing. I leave the level 400 mage alive, I run around the rock there to get them all trapped and coming towards me, and then there's this spot 3 squares north of the rock in the middle where you can stand. There are actually 2 spots there where you can stand, and the dills won't hurt you there. So I just kill the mage while my Titan and Dreadnip kill all of the other things. And there are 2 main reasons why I keep the mage alive for so long. First off is because it keeps me in combat, so the Steel Titan can attack the dills without me having to attack them first. And second, because it automatically activates some of the scrolls which are stored in my Slayer helm or Nezi helm automatically, so I use up extra scrolls, which is nice. As you can see, there's a line here which makes them unaggressive, so I walked past the line and then I walked back into the spot where they can't hit me there. It's a little bit tricky and it takes a bit of practice, but you can get it. Okay, so for this next wave, Magic Crystal and kill all the meleers. You 2-hit all of them, so again you can take off your tokkul-zo if you want to save a few charges on it. It's not really a big deal. The full fight kiln with this method takes about 650 tokkul-zo charges, which is somewhere around 1 day of getting the free tokkul from the Karamja tasks. So yeah, for this wave, it's the same thing. You stand in the northeast corner of the rock, and you trap all the meleers, kill them, and then kill the jad. With a magic crystal, it should be pretty quick. So yeah, click through the cutscene, and then this wave is easy. It's just rangers, so just range protect. You should 2-hit most of them, and then use the Titan if you want. Next wave is more meleers. Lots of fun with Storm of Armadyl. Now this next wave is a bit tricky. You want to turn on Mage Protect and stand in the northeast part of the rock, and then mage these guys as they appear. So you trap the south 2 ones on the rocks there, and then walk directly north and it'll put you out of range of the southern ones, but you can still mage the others. As soon as your magic crystal wears off, you want to switch to using range and make sure you re-overload, although be a bit careful when you're doing it. I was a bit risky again here. Yeah, the damage that they do through prayer it's not significant, but it's definitely noticeable. So cut through another cutscene here. And these next few waves are all jads, and you always want to stand in the northeast corner. This first one, you just stand here and melee protect. There's just a meleer that comes, you can 2-hit it, or almost 2-hit it, usually. Titan helps a bit. Then I always kill the jad first, because I don't like switching to melee gear, and I don't like maging the ranger. So kill the jad here. Then kill the ranger. Okay, so now 35 is a little tricky if you don't use invulnerability crystals. With invulnerability crystals, you just stand and kill the meleer first, and then go and kill the jad. If you're not using vulnerability crystals, watch the jad and then wear Ganodermic and mage the meleer as it walks towards you. There's really no reason why you shouldn't use invulnerability crystals, though this is probably the best wave you can use them on. So after the jad's dead, it's straightforward. You just kill the mage and the ranger. Also, that was a surprisingly quick jad, so that's not quite normal. Okay, so you don't need the Constitution Crystal here because you don't have time to use it. Wave 36, once the jads get trapped and you're all ready to go out, click your Magic Crystal, go out, kill them. Of course, I splash constantly. Come on. I also don't really recommend using Dreadnips on jads. It does speed it up a little bit, and you should definitely do it if you feel comfortable with it, but it doesn't really help a whole lot. They only get like 1 or 2 hits in that do actual damage usually, so it's not all that helpful. So okay, final wave, click through the cutscene as usual. Now, a lot of people tell you to just wear range, or to wear Ganodermic and use range protect, and that's a decent strategy, but you're better off praying based on what tentacles are around you. So switch to mage protect if it's just one. Yeah, and okay, so har'aken spawns 45 seconds from when the round begins, and then he stays up for 30 seconds, and then he goes under for another 45, and it just repeats like that. So if you've got a timer going, you can know exactly when he's going to respawn, which is very helpful if you're trying to just hide in a corner and tank out a bunch of the tentacles. He also never spawns on the north side, just to keep that in mind. This was an unusually damaging final boss. Normally I don't get hurt very much, but yeah, I was sort of getting owned this time. I mean, still not a problem because I had a lot of extra supplies, but just a little tricky. Also, I should probably mention that you can wear full melee gear and still mage har'aken and almost never miss. It has horrible mage defense. The tentacles, on the other hand, you need to be wearing good mage gear in order to hit them well. So yeah, that's it. Make sure you click on the Onyx gem. If you click out by mistake, just go into the fight kiln again and talk to the guy and he'll give you the item. And yeah, have fun getting randomed after every fight kiln pretty much. That's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's everything. I hope that was helpful. As of the making of this guide, these are the supplies that I use per round roughly, and since the Onyx gem at the time of making this kiln guide is about 6.7 mil, that's about 6 mil profit per kiln, and on average, including banking time, it'll take about 45 minutes to do a kiln, so it's over 7 mil profit per hour very easily. So yeah, it's definitely among the best money making methods in the game. If you're looking to do some boss hunting for money and you're looking at Nex or Tormented Demons or Corp, I highly recommend taking a second look at Fight Kiln. It's definitely worth doing if you've got the requirements and you have time to get some practice at it and get good at it. Personally, I also enjoy it over a lot of other methods of making money because it's solo, so you don't have to deal with a team. And it's also consistent. Unless you die, you're always going to be making the same amount of money. So thank you for watching, and if you're interested in doing Kiln for the first time and just basic tips on Kiln, take a look at the video annotation here. I don't have it out right at the making of this video, but I'll have it out within a couple days, so chances are if you're watching this, you can click there and it'll be out. I hope this was helpful, informative, and hopefully interesting. Thank you for watching.